Hello, good evening, everyone. We'll be just starting across shortly. We'll be just waiting for a couple of minutes initially for a few more parents to just join us across. We'll be just waiting the first 5 minutes, and then we'll be started across with our presentation. Meanwhile, you could just keep yourself a pen, a paper handy, and use the chat section whenever you face a technical difficulty and also the questions that you'd be having for me and the presenter today, who I'll be introducing across shortly. You could just put them across onto the chat section itself, and we'll be taking those questions right at the end of our session. Meanwhile, I'll just request everyone to keep your videos off and mics on mute so we could have maximum focus and attention on the presentation itself. And as I have said, we will be starting the presentation off shortly in another 4 minutes. We are waiting for a few more parents to join us across, and then we will start our presentation. Meanwhile, once a few more kids have joined, we'll also do a couple of polls just to understand, what is the audience mix today. That really does guide us well in understanding on how to run the presentation through. But meanwhile, I would just request everyone to stay on mute and keep your cameras off. We're just waiting for a few more minutes for more parents to join us across before we get ourselves started across with the presentation itself. Right. So in another 3 minutes, we will start with our presentation. People who have just joined us across now, we are waiting 3 minutes before we will get our presentation started. We are waiting for a few more parents to just join us across, and exactly at 8:05 Indian Standard Time, we would have started the presentation. So just another 2 minutes from now, we will start with our presentation. Right. And any questions and queries, if you also want to do it at the start of the session, you could use the question section now just to do the same. So we'll just be starting across in a couple of more minutes. I think in just a 2 minutes, we will start with our presentation. We will be going across with the topic today, envisioning in a way your admissions, various undergrad opportunities, as you can see on the slide, within UAE, that we would be discussing across at. Right. And wherever you feel difficulty, you could also raise it to Kanushri. She is co-hosting this webinar with me, and she'll be able to help you with all of your challenges. Right. For now, I'll just ask you to just be a little bit patient. In under a minute, we will have been just started with our presentation, and we will take you through with all of the aspects required for admissions in Dubai itself. Before we actually start off, just 1 minute from it, I just want to put in a couple of polls that so we could just understand the kind of audience that has joined us across today. Right. And at the same time, I'll just request everyone to keep your videos off and mics on mute so we could have complete focus on the presentation itself. So I'll just be starting a couple of questions, polls that, will just help us understand. We're just waiting for a few more parents to just join us across. We will just start that part. Right. So the first one that I just want to understand from everyone, what major are you interested in? If you could just quickly select the options in your screen, that will give us a good understanding of the kind of degrees that the students are looking for today in our conversation. Just as a quick, update to you, Rema ma'am, I'm seeing a lot of responses come in for engineering. We've got a good amount which is followed by finance. Now, actually, finance has got more votes that are coming across. So we've got more students with eco and finance with mathematics. I would largely say 50% of the population is looking for economics and finance with mathematics. A good 25% of the population is looking in terms of engineering. We do have some kids who are also looking at law and business administration, but the highest share is between economics and finance with mathematics along with engineering. So if there are no people voting, I will just stop this poll. I'll just give it a couple of seconds before I'm ending it. Right. Thank you for that one. I'm just sharing now one more in terms of the grade that you're in as of now. So that could give us a good understanding of, just give me 1 second. Yeah, right. Current grade. So if you could just quickly put in the grades that you are currently in, it will also give us good. Right. So again, majority of the kids, ma'am, are from grade 11, followed closely by grade 9 and 10th. Right. So we've got quite a good young population, really eagerly to understand about their opportunities with specifically UAE admissions. We're done with the polls themselves. We'll be now just moving across in terms of the presentation. I'll just quickly introduce to the whole audience the people that are within the presentation. I'll give you a good understanding of the roadmap as well. But the overall idea at the stage is that we will be discussing the various undergraduation opportunities that are there within UAE and all of those various emirates. Rema ma'am today she will be running or helping us go through with this whole aspect, and I'll also give her a complete introduction as we move across. But now just to give you a quick look at the flow of our conversation today, the session roadmap will be starting across by understanding what is the growing hub of UAE as an education center. Why should you choose UAE? What are the various options that you have? And then going in extreme detail in terms of understanding the duration, the various programs, the application processes, the timelines, and eventually the visa requirements as well. As we also do in every presentation of ours, we will then move on to our approach and then conclude across in terms of resources. Now, this is just to introduce you the two organizations, as you all are very familiar with Let's Unbound. It's an organization that stems across from mentoring and helping students with all of their various aspects around admissions and applications. Today, we are also doing this presentation with alliance with Counseling Point. So Counseling Point is again a training and development established back in 2005, and it is approved by KHDA, which is a Dubai-based center dedicated for guiding students and families, making informed academic career choices, and they offer personalized and group counseling throughout this whole admissions process. So that's a quick introduction of the two organizations, just to give you an intro about our founders at Let's Unbound. Amol is a serial entrepreneur and he's an education visionary. He's got experiences with Tata and Exceed, which is India's largest edtech platform. He has helped scale impactful educational solutions across 2,000 schools in 6 countries, impacting more than 250,000 students. On your right, you can see Nishant. He's a mentor and educator, the brains behind many of the learning pathways that we share today with our students. With 14 plus years of experiences across academy and industry, He has counseled more than 1,000 students and has designed curriculum solutions right from K-12 to executive MBA programs. So that's just to give you a quick understanding of the founders themselves. Now, just moving on to to myself as a as my own introduction. So I'm an MBA with 12 years of work experience across in consultancy. I've worked with Citibank, Standard Charter, and within education, I've worked with Added Education and Crimson Education. Both of them are international players when it comes to admissions abroad. And I'm also a co-founder when it comes to your Let's Unbound. Now, to give you a quick description about MAM, so let's meet our guest for this session. So we're really thrilled to have Rema Ma'am today, who's the founder, director of Counseling Point in Dubai. Ma'am brings over 25 years of hands-on experience in career counseling and higher education guidance. She has worked closely with young adults and families, helping them really navigate through this big academic and personal decisions with clarity and confidence. Beyond her practice, Rema Ma'am has served adjunct faculty with and a visiting counselor at leading institutions, for example, the higher colleges of technology, BITS Pilani, Dubai campus. She is multilingual and a published author focused on education and youth development. So I would now be handing this over to Ma'am. Ma'am, so you can now take it forward from this point. I'll just take you to the right slide itself, and you could just guide us firstly to understand, about Dubai. How is it really that growing hub as we now see it as? Ma'am, but you're currently mute. If you could quickly unmute.
Yeah, hi everyone. Great to see so many of you interested in Dubai. Uh, I myself have come to Dubai in 1998, and my counseling center is 20 years old, so much older than many of our young students here. I'm happy to help you. One of the first things I'd like to mention about the UAE is that it's a very safe and secure environment, and we have people from all over the world who are now coming here because this area is quite close to a lot of flashpoints like we know what is happening in other countries, so people are moving in from places like Sudan, Ukraine, Russia, because this is a very diverse nationalities, safe and secure. So we have students who initially thought of going to Western world, but have now changed their minds as sticking around here rather than go abroad. Only because every day in certain places, newer rules and regulations are coming into place, and there's a lot of uncertainty. Whereas here it is quite regulated. Everything is regulated in terms of how you can behave, and you can't have demonstrations, no strikes. In certain ways you may think that there is no democracy, but then the other way of looking at it is that your children are safe. They are going to be with people from various nationalities, and tomorrow's world, wherever they choose to be in, is a very interconnected world. So that's mainly the key features about the UAE. And increasingly, we are having people from all over come here to study. Our students from here are also going for study abroad programs. So if you are studying here, you can still go to New York for a semester, go to Australia for a semester, or transfer to that country to finalize do your final degree from that country. So there are many different options. We are going to Faraz is going to help me with the presentation, so we're going to go through each and every slide from now. Okay,
Yes.
Faraz, if we can.
Has the slide changed, ma'am?
Not yet.
I think it should have changed. Your slide would change what happened. It has changed from centrally. Okay, it's still.
How come I can't see it?
Yes, it has changed. Why choose UAE?
Yes. So we can see now that the UAE is a growing economy. We have the rulers used to have give a lot of focus to business, but now we are focusing more on STEM related fields. Okay, so we I see a lot of change. When I came in '98, we did not have as many institutions as we have now. And one of the biggest draws that UAE is focusing on is trying to keep good talent. So, what that means is if your child of you or you as a young adult is able to do very well in your studies here, you get a real good GPA out of 4 out of 4 or 3.8 out of 4, or you're getting in the 90s, you have the opportunity of getting a something called a golden visa, which entitles you to stay on in the UAE for the next 10 years. You can also sponsor your parents to come here and live here and do work here, do business here, invest money here. So these are the things that are working in their favor. So I see an uptick in numbers of students opting to come here. May we have the next slide, please? Yeah. So if you are looking at studying an Indian qualification, that too is possible. As in, we have BITS Pilani, we have Manipal, we have Amity. All those universities have established campuses here. Aside from this, we have the British curriculum being offered by Middlesex University, Heriot Watt, which is very well recognized in Scotland. We have Birmingham University. All of them have um, established huge campuses here. Similarly, we have the University of Wollongong in Dubai. You can study in Curtin, you can do your studies in Murdoch University. All of them have a presence here, large campuses with thriving students. Similarly, for USA, we have the Rochester Institute of Technology, which is a New York based university. We have Northwood, which is in Michigan. Then we have homegrown American universities in Ras Al Khaimah, which is one of our emirates. We have 7 different emirates, and Ras Al Khaimah is one of them. The American University of Ras Al Khaimah offers American style education in RAC. Similarly, we have institutions in Sharjah and in Dubai. Aside from all these, we have a very good program of NYU, which is which is the parent campus is in New York, but we have an Abu Dhabi campus here, which offers fabulous scholarships for deserving students. For example, this year I'm very proud to say one of my advisees has landed a full scholarship. So her parents are only going to be paying for room and board because she's choosing to stay on in the hostel. So their parents will be paying for her room and board, but her entire tuition is being met by the university. The reason being, she has a healthy mix of extracurriculars and a very high academic profile. She has a 96% in her CBSE, and she has done all sorts of activities, including robotics, speeches, dramas, so many different things. She is aspiring to become an economist in the future. Could we have a next slide, please? Okay, so there are so many different universities to select from. We also have very good scholarships based on marks, based on extracurriculars, especially if it's sports. Okay, so the UAE has something called the Ministry of Higher Education, which accredits programs and recognizes institutions. So, as of today, we have 33 institutions in Dubai. We also have so many different programs. You want to study forensics, you want to study psychology, you want to do marine sciences. All of these are available right here in the UAE. If you look at a website, you want to take down notes, you can look at a website called CAA.ae. CAA.ae is the Council for Academic Accreditation. What that is the body that accredits institutions. So if you go into the website of CAA, you will see all the universities that the ministry has approved of, and you can also go through all each and every one of the programs they have on offer, which will give you a fair idea. I know some of you have wanting to do a combination of finance and accounting. All of that is possible. We also have law. I saw a 20% number of people wanting to do law. Lots of business related, lots of programs, including now IIT Delhi has opened a campus in Abu Dhabi, but they have stringent entry requirements. They have an entrance exam aside from the AIEEE. But if you are really top of the class, you can get it. The downside is there are only 20-25 seats. So you have to be really good to land that space. Okay. May I have the next slide, please? Yeah. So, based on what you want, whether you want an American style degree or a UK or European style, we have all of that. We even have, last year, we have established a new university from France. So, there are many different programs on offer. If you're somebody who's very creative, not really wanting to go into academia, but want to go into film school, or you want to do um, something like audio engineering or digital media, we have all of that as well. So, right now, computer science, business, finance, law, cybersecurity, mass communication, these are the most sought after programs that we have on offer. Next slide, please. Yeah. So most of the application is done online. Right now, I'm helping one student who's based out of Mumbai. She has completed her law and she wants to do her master's at the University of Birmingham. I know you are all school students, but I'm just saying because we are living in an interconnected world, you could be doing your undergrad somewhere, you could be doing a master's somewhere else. Everything is possible. But definitely, most of the institutions, you have to have a minimum 12 years of schooling. Okay. And you have to have proficiency in English. So that can be demonstrated either by TOEFL or IELTS academic. Now, most of the institutions, if you just go and Google it, you can actually see the university, their admission criteria, what they require, and all of that, and send the necessary paperwork for them to help you with it. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, most of the admissions commence in April and get finalized in May, July. But we also have some which, because most of our programs start in September, the main intake is in September. We have up to August to make those applications. But if you do want a scholarship or you want a discount on your fees, you have to apply early. And the earliest that you can apply is April, because you can apply with your predicted grades. I am aware that you will be writing your exams only in March, April, but you would have got some marks based on your predicted marks from your school. They will give you an offer of admission. It will become unconditional after you give them your actual results. Okay. They also have sometimes intakes, not sometimes, they all have intakes also in the spring term. The fall is September, but spring term will be either January or February. Next slide, please. Yeah. So the visa requirements are very straightforward. Once you have an offer of letter offer letter from the university, they would ask you for some specific information regarding your finances, regarding your health, all of that. UAE requires every resident, whether it is a national or an expatriate, to have health insurance so that if any emergency comes up, the health insurance takes care of the needs. Okay, so typically it will be about 6,000 to 7,000, and then altogether it is 1,200 to 2,000 to renew your visa. It is much cheaper than if you have to go westwards, because a lot of expenses in terms of tuition fees are there when you go either US, UK, Canada, or Australia. Next slide, please.
Right. So I'll be then, and this is the last one in terms of
Yeah.
admission timelines and a complete focus within Dubai itself. Now, before we move on to our approach, I had a couple of previously thought across some questions. So I just like to ask you in terms, as you were also saying, that a lot of focus has started going towards Dubai as a destination. That is, would you say, is it short-lived, or it's going to be a very long-term aspect, even though currently a lot of political maneuvering happening within USA, as I would understand, has increased applications for Dubai, the same US universities. But can we really say that's going to be much more of a long-term shift
It
into?
is definitely a long-term shift, because unless that were the case, a big university like Birmingham or Manchester wouldn't have opened its offices here, right? So
Yeah.
we have more and more institutions from outside who are coming here and establishing campuses. Now, somebody has asked whether SAT is a requirement. NYU does not have a SAT requirement. SAT is a definite requirement if you are from an American curriculum school. Reason being, students in CBSE or ICSE or A levels have an international board exam, not international, as a national board exam. Whereas the American system does not have a board exam, only a school related exam. So,
Hmm.
because of that, you're not able to see the caliber or the capability of a student unless we have an SAT or an ACT score to benchmark the capacity of the child. So
Hmm.
if you're from Indian curriculum and you're doing ICSE or CBSE, you may not require the SAT. But if you're looking at, if you have done well on the SAT, that will also be considered when they're looking at scholarship.
And ma'am, in terms of A levels and IB, what would you say? Do they really need an SAT, ACT, or
No,
they
they
again?
don't require it.
The
Not,
only issue
it's
is with
not a
the
requirement.
schooling system that we see in America, where students largely select APs, is the place,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, that's
where
correct.
we have
Yeah.
that kind of a challenge. And now, one more question, ma'am. Say we've seen this, these kind of questions were submitted to us during people registering for the presentation. They quickly just wanted to understand the difference between, let's say, you applying to NYU USA and NYU Dubai in terms of the application, in terms of the profile, if any, there is a difference. Yes.
It is there. It's no different. So when if you're in the NYU website, okay, or you're doing the Common App, the application through Common App, they
Mm.
ask you which campus would you prefer.
Okay.
So whether you want here or you want the actual NYU campus, New York campus, the process is the same. So the same Common App essay, the same supplementary questions as to why do you want to study whatever you wish to study, what is it that attracts you to come to NYU, those sort of questions will be there irrespective of where you want to go.
Perfect. Thank you, ma'am. I'll be calling you again once I've completed with the approach that I'll just discuss with the students and the resources that we always share at the end. So we'll take a couple of questions at that stage. For now, all of the students who are on the chat section, you could just see I'm dropping a good amount of sources and websites that all of you guys could just keep, copy it from the chat section and keep it with you. They're going to be good resources for you to follow up after our presentation today. Now, just moving across with the approach as we talk in all of our presentations as a counseling company, what is that one challenge that we do always see when we get a new student or a parent is that 93% of the kids and students, parents today really do not only know about 7 career options, while if you really go into details, it has expanded quite a lot with degrees in various different fields and also degrees which are now also merging into different areas. Now, with all of that complexity and the university selections in themselves, hearing Dubai's, you would have also had that same kind of understanding. It really gets very overwhelming for kids to, really work on it on an independent way. So what we do is we take certain type of inputs in which we try to understand the student, the personality, the interest, and we do this through the psychometric test. We do this through we do this through the college counseling that we will be doing and our various sessions that we hold, in which then we move on towards profile and skill building and obviously concluding it with your application admissions guidance and your visa assistance, where then eventually, hypothetically speaking, then the output is an admission into a university, for example, NYU Abu Dhabi for computer science. Now, also to show you a timeline of how students go through while they're working with us. So, for example, students coming across to us in grade 9, where we start by really exploring their personalities, their profiles, their past, their inclinations, their interests, and we really help them build those strengths. And we all give them suggestions in terms of going for courses, joining clubs, participating in competitions, doing research. And after every 6 months, we do constantly hold these self-reflective sessions to just understand the growth the student is happening in every 2 quarters. We move across once the kid is in 10th or has joined us in 10th. We help them working with their capstone projects. And by the time the kid is in 11th, we're in that ideal situation of giving them the guidance when it comes to be selecting the subjects, the courses, the capstone projects, and also the standardized testing that largely happens from 11th and to the 12th. And within 12th itself, we'll be helping you with the personal statement, the essays, the closure of activities, and the applications themselves. To quickly just look at our activities or services on the 3 pillars. So we've got this one pillar of academic and test prep, where we will help you with all of these tests that are required for admissions abroad. As ma'am was also talking to you today about SAT and ACT, we definitely provide support there. Along with that, profile building and admission prep support is also provided. Now, just to show you a couple of success stories, these are just more global success stories about a student that worked with us and had gone to Dartmouth for their undergraduation, did extremely well within the essay competition at Oxford. He's a national level basketball player. He founded an NGO while in Bombay itself, while doing his grade 12s. He's a talented solo singer and has performed in charity events and has contributed his voice to the school choir. Had a SAT score of 1550. So, a well-rounded plus a lopsided profile that really got him into Dartmouth. This is just a quick example about a student that worked with us and went into Rice University. Now, as we conclude all of our sessions by sharing resources with you, the whole objective is trying to make the admissions knowledge equal playing field for everyone. So we do conduct webinars and seminars as such every weekend. All of you guys could join us next weekend. We'll be going in extreme detail about the US admission system, talking about the common applications, the various components that go in the common application, the activities, the essays, the personal statement. So even those kids that are really interested in Dubai admissions, as Rema ma'am has said, regardless if you're applying USA campus or Dubai campus, the process still remains the same. So all of those kids that are interested in your Dubai admissions for a US universities can definitely join us across next weekend to get a good understanding. And we also do share all of our information on this written format through newsletters. I'll also just drop the link of uh, the site where you could, connect and see various different newsletters on admissions, US admissions, UK admissions, Dubai as well, and various other such topics. You could also just use the QR code on the bottom of your screen to get access. Now, these are two other platforms that we also do use to put information out there. Our YouTube channel, where you could see a lot of podcasts with our top students that have been admitted in the past, and then our WhatsApp group that we have created, basically targeted at bringing students together which are looking at admissions abroad. You could also avail a free diagnostic test in terms for SAT from us, where you could attempt it and we would give you a complete analysis of your current standing. So all of you students who are in grade 11 today can really use this link. Now, this is the last slide of our presentation. You could use the QR code now on your screen. If you're really interested in understanding more about the Dubai admissions, you want to get a clear picture of how to work towards your an admission to Dubai, you could just use the QR code on your screen now and register for a one-on-one where we will then take you through with different aspects of admissions in Dubai and globally as well. So we have now come to the last slide of our presentation today. I have left the last minutes for Q&A. If there are any questions that have come across from the presentation today, you could definitely put it across. Right, so I'll be just using the chat section to see any kind of question. So, ma'am, one question that has come across largely from your perspective now, and you've already did have spoken about it. What importance of SAT scores? What is the range that one should be looking across as a rough range?
Right. So, like I said, unless you're from an American curriculum school, there's no like it is not a mandatory thing. But every university will be happy to see a score above 1300, okay, out of 1600. Every university will realize that you're more than just average. But of the higher your score, the better it is. So getting into say an RIT or a NYU Abu Dhabi, really they're not looking at SAT score. But if you're wanting to share a score, it would be nice if it's above a 1300.
Perfect. Now, ma'am, if an Indian student is in USA till grade 12 with IB curriculum, I think as you had said, that SAT is definitely not something that's required. But in terms of IELTS, is IELTS required?
Yes. So, or
Mm.
most of the institutions, they want to see that you have a proficiency in English. So you can either do the academic feature of IELTS because they have IELTS has both general and academic. You choose to do the academic if it is for your higher education. General, if you're thinking of migrating somewhere. So you can do either the IELTS or the TOEFL to show your proficiency in English.
Right. Now, one other question that is there that I'll basically just answer as I read it out. The only NYU branch in UAE is Abu Dhabi. There is no branch in Dubai. And I
That's
guess
correct.
on that part, Ravana. So if there are no further questions, I'll just give a couple of more seconds. If there are no questions, then we will just conclude our session for today. I think we'll just give it another 5, 6 seconds. If I see someone typing, okay, so how are the campus placements in terms of engineering, if you'd like to take that up? I do understand it's
Yeah.
a little bit beyond the admission scope, but
No, no, I can easily answer that. So, in the UAE, we do not have too much of manufacturing. There's more of marketing of manufactured goods, right? So, but at the same time, that um, at the same time I can give you one example. When I was working with Bits Pilani, every student who was studying there had two options. One is to take a 6 months placement option or get into a research project, and every student had to do these things which would prepare them for the workforce. So most of the students get absorbed in whichever place they go and do their internship during the placement. So we do provide, and every university has a placement division, and most of the institutions have like since there's a specific question on engineering, most of the universities that offer engineering have professional associations. They have hackathons. They have various competitions. The more you are engaged with these things, the more you will know of opportunities. If you just stick to yourselves and your friends, you're not likely to know about the requirements and what is available out there. The more you get involved with activities, more you involve yourself in research projects, get to know your professors, the more likely you will be to find a placement after you've graduated.
Ma'am, we'll just
Somebody
take
else asked something about finance, right?
yes, yes, this is the last two questions. So how to basically I'll just reframe it. How do Dubai universities compare to US universities going there directly, for example, with the focus in finance? So how do
So,
Dubai versus a US degree in that way?
yeah. So, see, Dubai is very much like India in terms of the kind of people you will meet because we have a huge number of Indians. Whereas when you go to the US, the kind of opportunities you have because of the fact that the diversity is much more over there, the opportunities for research and those publications and all of that is definitely more in the US. Although now I am speaking for the UAE, there are certain things that the US provides which UAE cannot. But we can provide certain things that US cannot provide, which is one of the basic things is the safety and security. And nowadays, because of all the new regulations, it's not easy for somebody who has spent so much time, effort, money, and energy to land a job in the US. After you finished and spent all of that, you have to just come back. We have so many people who have completed studies in UK and US who are now looking around for jobs in the UAE. So I'm talking with absolute conviction that when you go to a new country, it's not a given. It's all about how we make use of all the opportunities, the connections we've made, all of that to land a job.
True. Just one
Another
last.
question, one person has asked whether from Dubai you can go to India for, yeah, so it's not, I don't think it is a regular thing, but then there is a lot of collaboration in terms of research, collaboration in terms of partnerships. So students from here do go to Hyderabad and Goa and all for projects. So I'm imagining also the placements can happen, but it's not a given.
Understood, ma'am. And I think that's just
Yeah.
last question that we'll take the fees range for NYU Abu Dhabi. If you could just give us a rough figure.
Oh, it is very high. It's
As high
something
as you
like
would say.
it's high as the skies. It's 80 something $1,000.
Dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
So whether you're studying in NYU in the parent campus or whether it is here, it is the same fees. But you're more likely to get a very good scholarship if you are have a combination of extracurriculars and a high academic record. And
Right.
your teachers say good things about you in your recommendations.
So it is need they have good need blind scholarships or merit based scholarships that one could avail
Yes, yes,
in those
yeah,
fees. Right. Thank you, ma'am. It was really
yeah.
nice sharing all of this information with us. And hopefully in the coming months we'll be doing another follow-up session. We may take up another topic around Dubai. But really thank you for throwing light in terms of admissions with Dubai. It would really help a lot of the students who have joined us across today. And thank you for
The
everyone
pleasure was mine.
who
Thank
has
you all for joining. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'm always available through Let's Unbound. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need any help. All the best, students. All the best. Do your best. Bye bye.
thank you. Happy Raksha Bandhan to everyone who's still across, and thank you.
Yeah.